So my name is Omar Abasad. It is October 5th, 2019 at 3:50 p.m. in Toronto. So I posted some videos and some tweets today and last night. And there was one particular video I made recording a Chinese man harassing me at about 12 o'clock last night. He said some things that was very concerning and tied in nicely into the other tweets that I tweeted previously about what's going on around the building and in the building. So it would seem that this Chinese man think he has control of me. Obviously, he's mentally ill, or else he wouldn't be calling at 12 at night. And he called quite a few times as well. And I believe that this man is tied into the trafficking ring that's being run in the building. I started recording his conversation on my computer, so I couldn't, it wasn't clear, his voice wasn't coming through very clear. But as soon as I hit the record button, he said, "Why are you recording?" So obviously he was looking at me inside of my home. I'm being surveilled inside of my home at 25 Bamberg Circle in Toronto. He also said he had control of me. So right after that, I was bumped off. I was looking at something on Netflix, and I was bumped off Netflix. So my system is hacked. My computer is hacked, which I knew before, because all my computer crashed, and I just got a new one. This year, and was it this year or was it late last year? Quite don't remember exactly what month I got it. No, it was this year. I'm sorry. And this computer is also crashing. So my system is hacked. There is absolutely no doubt about it. There is absolutely no doubt as well that I am being surveilled illegally inside of my home and being recorded inside of my home. And the signals that I have recorded using this spectrum analyzer also supports the fact that I am being illegally surveilled and tortured using frequency weapons such as active denial systems, lasers, tasers. I mean, it could go through the wall if it's directly above or below. Very convenient. In a condominium setting, it's very easy to harass somebody this way. So this is an ongoing issue, and the same people who are doing this are calling the cops and reporting to the cops that I'm mentally ill, emotionally perturbed, and so on. Um, when somebody hits you with a microwave weapon, it hurts and it burns, as I demonstrated several times before. Um, you need to verbalize the emotion that goes along with that, which is why I vent. So these people who are listening and looking at everything I do and say inside of my home are trying to get me to stop verbalizing because I suspect that they are broadcasting me globally, locally, I'm not quite sure. So everybody knows everything about me all the time. I'm being used as an illegal experimentee. However, this has been going on for years and years and years with other people around the world. So there is nothing new about that. So it's not really about experimentation per se. I suspect that the experimentation is falling under the umbrella of trafficking, and the experimentation is really about customizing victims to certain people who are looking and what these people like, which is really about torture and sadomasochism, and it's all sexually based. This is exactly what was going on with Epstein's ring. And a lot of what went on with Epstein's ring is not being talked about. It's not, what we hear about is only a tip of the iceberg. The women who came forward and what they're talking about and all the sexual activity, physical sexual activity, I suspect is only the physical aspect. There's a lot of connections between roboticized sex, sexual enslavement, which of course would include chipping and remote neural monitoring and brain-to-brain mapping, customization, and connecting brain to brain to customize the sex slave to the master, which is exactly what Epstein was doing. He was training the girls to please him. He was training the girls to be subservient. He was training the girls to be slaves, sex slaves, and then he passed them on to other people. So this has been done remotely. This is why the Chinese man in the phone, this wasn't a conversation, in the harassment that went on, he was saying he had control and he was hitting the button, clicking the button, whatever he was using, I'm not quite sure. But there was a clicking sound. So he was in control. He's saying that he's looking at me remotely and he has remote control over me. So all my tweets and all my videos on the YouTube, um, in my channel, Miss Eye Opener, Mseyoopener, documents this step-by-step program to bring somebody down, degrade them, dehumanize them, torture them, enslave them, use them, and then dispose of them. So there's a lot of connection between what I'm saying and the activity in the loading dock, day and night. Um, the people who are working in the loading dock are not necessarily the people who are there at night, because if there are gang activity in the building, then it could be gang members in the loading dock. It could be gang members underneath my unit. It could be residents as well. It could be residents who've been infiltrated by gangs. But definitely what I hear outside the window, I have been hearing for years and years and years, definitely connects to trafficking, remote trafficking in my case, because there's no physical, absolutely no physical sexual activity. There is no prostitution. There is no sex slavery. However, if somebody hooks you up and look at you at night, then in their eyes, you're a prostitute because you're being sold to them. Somebody's selling you. So in their eyes, you're a prostitute. So when comments are made that everybody knows that you're a prostitute, this is exactly what it means. That somebody's selling you remotely and affecting your body remotely and making you out to be a prostitute, painting you to be a prostitute, because now all these men are using remote technologies and pulsing you between the legs. And it's a form of mind control, because if you're half awake, half asleep, they can manipulate you, as the Chinese man said. He's in control. He can manipulate you into opening your legs, into whatever they're trying to get you to do. Now, because it's remote, it could also be manipulation of dreams. It could be manipulation of thoughts. It could be manipulation of moods while you sleep. So all this goes hand in hand. Vince Lee, I suspect very, very strongly, was a Chinese experimentee. And unfortunately, these people are using innocent Canadians as victims to test on. He was on a bus, he ate somebody's head, and they waited outside the bus until he finished eating the person practically. As to why that happened, not quite sure. And then they went in. You know, there are a lot of things that could have been done to save the man's body for the family, but that wasn't done. They could have used tear gas or something to bring the man down before he actually cut up the person's body, and unfortunately the family had to deal with it. So I did a bit of reading on that. So experimentation, all kinds of experimentation, and I suspect that the Chinese gangs are getting the contracts, and these are illegal contracts. Illegal contracts. Talk to you another time.